Experience this spring.
First and goal. Wells powers in off the right side and has the touchdown for the first and goal. Wells easily for a second touchdown of the ball game. Tailback. Wells trying to pick his way off the left side. He carries everybody into the end zone.
Carry.
And it's Wells. Touchdown. Second and goal. And touchdown. Chris Wells. And spinning move, breaking free, headed for the end zone. Chris Wells. 14-yard line. Wells again gets outside. He's going to score. 10-5 touchdown Ohio State. Another handoff. This could be another Buckeye touchdown. Chris Wells keeps himself ready as if he were the starter. Here's a chance for another Ohio State touchdown.
Beanie Wells, the tailback, stutter step, and still got into the end zone. Touchdown.
6. Wells straight up the middle, breaks the tackle. Chris Wells inside the 30 and down to the 20. Includes Archie Griffin and Eddie George and all the rest. And now Chris Wells into the secondary. Chris Wells, touchdown Ohio State. Wells again.
Third and goal from the one is Beanie Wells. He'll get the call, and he is in for the touchdown.
Career 100-yard rushing day. And he's adding to that total. Wells puts it the other way. The 20, the 15. They're going to give it to Wells. And he's again with you shortly. And again they hand it off to Chris Wells.
First and goal. Wells will jog into the end zone.
It'll be Wells on first and 15. John Gill had him wrapped up, and Wells gets out of there. What a roll by Beanie Wells! Inside the 15. Wells shakes off a defender. Touchdown!
The Ohio State 24. Chris Wells back in the ball game, and there he goes. 20, 15, 10-5, touchdown.
Wells on the carry. And he broke a tackle, 2 tackles, a straight arm. Oh, he is bringing it tonight.
Converting 2 third down and long plays. Wells to the goal line and in. Touchdown, Ohio State.
Little counter to Beanie Wells again. Oh, he chokes his way over a Minnesota defender.
That anyway. Doesn't matter now. Beanie Wells. Wells into the secondary. Here he goes again. All the way down to the 21-yard line. So second down and 10. Toss sweep. Wells cuts it up. Oh, and he's in the clear. Beanie Wells down the sideline. He might take it. It's Wells trying to cut it outside. Touchdown, Ohio State. Paul McGuire, Aaron Andrews with you from Columbus. Here's a negative play unless Beanie Wells can bounce it outside, and now he's got blockers. Wells, 40. Midfield on the cutback. And something that looked like about an 8-yard disaster.
The schedule's been stocked with him this year. Wells towards the end zone, feet moving into the end zone.
So they got Robisky, and then they run Beanie. The Robisky side, 10, 5-foot fullback, and he barges into the end zone. 37-yard line. Steady diet. Beanie Wells breaks past midfield, breaks into the clear. Foot race for the end zone. 6 on the board for the Buckeyes.
Beanie Wells breaks it to the outside. Across the 30, just stiff arms Jackson. Crosses midfield.
8 minutes here. Beanie Wells breaks free again.
Wells, a big burst to the outside. Beanie Wells to the 30, the 20. A lunge for a tackle. Touchdown, Buckeyes, 65 yards.
Down in Columbus, Ohio. And the Beanie breaks free again.
Wells, remember, was banged up earlier, so now it's Beanie, and here he goes. Wells, touchdown. By the Illini defense this year. And now Wells hitting the backfield, bounces it outside. Beanie, touchdown.
Big Ten is making you a smarter man.
There's Wells, and he's on his way to the end zone. Touchdown.
Be like back in August.
Wells back against the grain, and Wells to the end zone again.
4 juniors and only 1 senior.
And Wells cuts it back. Touchdown.
Ware gives it to Wells. Big hole up the middle.
spent the last couple of years as a minor league pitcher. And this one is pitched to Beanie. Chris Wells breaks it to the outside. And a 10 for Ohio State. They hand it to Wells. And he breaks into the open field. Leaping would be. And they hand it to Wells. And Wells will go the distance. Touchdown, Buckeyes. Wow. Big opening. Has 5, has 10. He's off to the person on the court. Wells spins off the tacklers. He's free. 40.
Beanie Wells cuts back now, and he's got some room to run, and a blocker in front of him is quarterback. Beanie's all the way down to the third. Tight end on the right. He goes that way. Didn't get there. They're giving him a touchdown. Now they say touchdown.
Carrying the ball.
Here's Beanie Wells, and he's carrying it to the corner and then some. Wells, draw play. Beanie Wells, touchdown.
Helped him with his footwork. Here's the handoff to Wells, trying to get to the pylon, and he's in.
Juice Williams right there.
And back to the pounder. Beanie Wells just bouncing off of Illinois players.
Having a great season this year.
Here's Beanie Wells to the outside, and what about that play? Just hurdles a defender.
All those things are being talked about.
Beanie Wells with a huge hole up the gut, breaking tackle. He hands it off to Beanie Wells, who breaks into the secondary.
Down run is about all Ohio State's offense has got to show for it. Here might be another big one. Beanie out to midfield.
Beanie Wells carries right past the line. A stiff arm Shockey Brown. The pitch back to Beanie Wells. Cuts right through the line.
Beanie Wells.